Hello, welcome back to the channel. We continued our journey through French lands with the intention of reaching Alsace. As you can see in the video, we start our journey early in the morning. We left our mini house in Carcassonne very early to travel the 850 kilometers that separate Alsace from Colmar, where we are going to establish, so to speak, our base of operations to carry out the visit to Alsace. Since until 5 o'clock in the afternoon we will not have available our Airbnb accommodation in Colmar, we will take the trip with peace and possibly before reaching Colmar visit some town of Alsace. The route from its beginning will be practically by highway as yesterday, alternating free and toll sections. It is not worth leaving the toll highway to save a few euros because in the larger sites we will cross like Montpellier, Avignon, Lyon or Dijon, there is a lot of traffic and it does not compensate for the waste of time or money. The first section of the journey as yesterday will be parallel to the Mediterranean Sea, to the coast. Then in Montpellier we will gradually separate from the shore, and in Avignon we turn definitively to the north. Although there is a lot of traffic, we found no problem, only a few small retentions in Lyon or in the vicinity of Dijon. But it never gets to be retention, just a little slower traffic. As we have plenty of time, we take it from time to time to rest in some of the excellent service areas that provide us with the French toll highways. And as I said, are excellent service areas in relation to what is paid by toll, much cheaper than in Spain. And so little by little, turning in the driving of the vehicle and stopping from time to time in some of the service areas, we are approaching already to Alsace, where the first thing to draw attention are the vineyards for which this region is famous. There are about 51 vineyards with very particular characteristics whose wines can be called Grand Cru, although some large producers, such as Hugel or Trimbaz, have opted not to take such a name. Most wines are white with the name of the grape on the label. Often dry, but also sometimes sweet or semi-sweet. Late-growing wines, or SGN, are among the best sweet wines in the world. And so, between vineyards, we are gradually entering Alsace. And we make our first stop before arriving at Colmar in Eguisheim, a small Alsatian town of about 1,600 inhabitants that emerged as a Roman settlement, where the vineyard cultivation in Alsace was pioneering since the 4th century. As for the parking, although there is paid parking in Eguisheim, and since we always look for the most economical option and close to the place of visit, we parked in front of the cemetery that is only about 500 meters from the center of the town, which is accessed by the Grande Rue, the main street that crosses the town from east to west and where we begin to see the typical Alsatian constructions. To begin the visit we turn left towards Rue du Rempart Sud, the street of the south walls, where we find La Pigeonnière, an ancient pigeon and emblem of Eguisheim and Alsace, and that at certain times of the year it is advisable to go early given the crowd of tourists to take a picture in front of this peculiar construction. We continue along the street of the walls, delighting with the shape and colorfulness of the houses and the variety of cellars that we can find. We return to the main street, and from here we head to the center, to the Place du Château Saint-Léon. This square is one of the most beautiful in Eguisheim, a square with a 360-degree panoramic view where you can enjoy the beautiful architecture of the Alsatian houses, the fountain of Saint-Léon, the remains of the chateau of Eguisheim, and the chapel dedicated to Pope Leo IX. In the middle of the square is the Saint-Léon fountain, the largest fountain in all Alsace, built in 1834 and on whose pedestal is a statue of Saint Leo IX, an ancient inhabitant of Eguisheim who was crowned pope in the 11th century. Just behind the fountain, we can see the stall of Eguisheim, where the well-known Pope Leo IX was born in 1002. Due to a fire in 1877, the houses built in the courtyard of the castle and its walls were destroyed. Next to the remains of the castle is the chapel dedicated to Pope Leo IX, built on the ancient mansions of the castle, and where the remaining remains rest the Pope. Another of the places to visit is the Place du Marché, the market square, especially at Christmas, because at that time of year it is surrounded by the Christmas markets so famous in this region. In this square you can also see a sculpture of Jeanne d'Arc, the national heroine of France who led the French army during the 100 Years' War, as well as a monument in honor of those who died in the war. In the church square, behind the castle is the church of St. Peter and St. Paul, initially of Romanesque style and which has been finished in Gothic style, and in whose interior is the sculpture of the Virgin of Ouvrant from the 13th century. The truth is that you look wherever you look, go where you go, in any street, it is beautiful, with typical examples of Alsatian architecture and very well decorated with flowers. So it is a highly recommended place if you visit Alsace. After visiting Eguisheim, we are already headed to Colmar to our apartment, which is located only 6 kilometers from Eguisheim in a very quiet area of Colmar. The apartment is a pretty spacious paved attic that as always we have rented through Airbnb, and of which I leave you a link in the description, and in which in addition if you carry your own vehicle, you will have no difficulties parking. I also leave you the description of the location of the parking lot of the Eguisheim cemetery. And so far today. A little rest from the trip and prepare to continue visiting the beautiful region of Alsace.